In the name of God the Almighty, peace to you. Today I will speak about this life, this mortal life, why it is a test or a qualification phase. Uh, I know lately many movements and many philosophers and those who don't want to, to have the classic atheism ideas that we are just being given this short life and we have to, live it to the maximum. Because the atheists believe that we will die once we die, that's all. And so a branch of them, or some of the those who believe in the new age movements and the positivity, and they take from ancient wisdom whatever they likes about positive vibes and positivity and reincarnation and all these things. But what's common between them and atheism, that they believe that the one I am now, for example, Murad, next life I won't be Murad, so I have every right to use this life to the maximum as an individual. And however, they believe that I will be reincarnated in someone new, something else, whatever, maybe depending on my deeds on this life. But this is not a fair, logically speaking, this is not a fair treatment to any soul, because let us say I was here before and I lived before this life and I was a bad guy. And now I am living this life and I'm suffering because of my deeds in the previous life. Is this fair? Especially when I don't remember anything about who I was and what was my crime or were my bad deeds or whatever. Is this a fair treatment? When you all what you know is that you are this person right now and you are suffering without, inflicting any uh, big suffer on others. You are not causing harm to others, and yet you are being harmed all the time. So this doesn't sound plausible to me. This doesn't sound logical to any sane, any wise person. However, what these people believe in, that the world has always been here and will always remain here, and that's why they believe that it's only, going on this way. This is the life cycle, is the serpent cycle. They believe in that they're always going on this way. So we are born, we die, then we were born again in another form or another person or whatever. As I said, this would have been acceptable and understandable if I really know what I have been doing here before. I mean, how I'm now, for example, suffering because something I did before that I don't even remember. Especially when this, for example, me now, I'm going to be reincarnating next. So what I am suffering now as a new person, completely different from the person who lived before. So next time, if I die now, for example, I will be reincarnated in someone who is living a good life, everything he wanted, but it's not Murad, it's someone new. So how on earth could this be a fair deal for those involved? Even if it's the same soul, but it doesn't have a memory to remember anything. So this is illogical to me. However, I have an alternative for these people that's more convincing. If they believe in reincarnation, yes, we could be reincarnated if we weren't good enough the first time, we could be reincarnated to be given another chance. But then that's it. Then the maximum you could get in mortal existence is twice. You live twice. And then the third time, when everybody is being judged, the judgment day, uh, everybody will be judged after that. So that's definitely when you do it the right time, when you live the best way you can live, it should be your last time as temporary living being. So the next time you will be rewarded because you have earned the soul you have borrowed from the source. So that's, if you believe in reincarnation, that's a more logical and plausible idea than those who believe that we keep being reincarnated endlessly, because as I said, it doesn't hold water, it give doesn't make sense, because we don't. Some of them claim that some of them can reach some kind of knowledge that reminds them of what they have been doing here before, or what was their previous life is about. But why I should go and I should put effort in this? So for me, it's illogical. The most uh, logical explanation of the reason and the purpose of our existence is that we are living a test. We have been given a temporary and eternal soul in order to see if we exist, if we be, or we are not going to be. And that's given by giving us a complete free will to create our eternal self. So we are given this time, we are given this soul at birth with 50% goodness, 50% darkness, and we have to work our way up or down, wherever we are creating ourselves. So either we deserve to own this eternal soul and live for a good life for eternity, or we lose it because we failed and we are not qualified enough to own it. So that's how things work. That's more logical, and that's closer to the truth, and that goes okay with almost every belief system. And scientifically and logically speaking, this is more plausible than anything else. So we are here, as I said, to create our eternal self. Our minds and our hearts during this lifetime decides where we go. That's why we have to work every day on our thoughts, on our hearts, and to not, hold grudges, to not give in to darkness in any no matter what happens to us. We have to endure. We have to keep our fiery nature under check. Uh, we have to accommodate our dark side within our good side. That's the way to be in control. That's the way we grant that we will be given this soul for eternity, and that's how we can get closer to God as much as we could. So we are here to, first of all, God have sent us guidance on how there are red lines we should not cross in order to have the basics of a good life, which are the Ten Commandments. So if you live by them and observe them 100%, that you are safe, you got the basics correct, and then you add to that. You add to that by spending your lifetime gaining knowledge, good knowledge, not any type of garbage that it could ruin you instead of. So we have to read things, to learn things, and we hear and we read text or whatever, or ideas, and we think of our own too, and we communicate with the source of the truth, which is God, and we comes out with the best. We take the best and leave the rest. That's how we can gain more wisdom and more knowledge. Also, plus of that, we have to do good deeds like helping the needy, protesting against injustice, protesting against war, protecting the environment, being nice to animals, being nice to other people. So we have to do this. This is our test. The more we are peaceful, the more we are in control over our urges, the more we are respectful towards ourselves, towards others, the more we are wise, the more we are knowledgeable, the more we are creative, the more we are, uh, you know, uh, artistic, whatever, something of creativity in the good sense, of course. All of that will give us a higher rank in the eternal life. So this is our test. We are given a chance. People blame everything on God. God didn't force you into being. You can lose yourself and destroy yourself and do not want to be. You are given this chance. You take it, you leave it, it's up to you. Nothing to do with God. You are creating yourself. You are learning in this temporary life, and you are being seen if you are qualified to own this soul for eternity or not. So, if you are wise, peaceful, creative, all these things, you deserve it. If you are violent, if you are criminal, if you attack others with or without reasons, if you always in anger state, if you are uh, all these things, if you are just very superficial, running behind materialistic things all the time, you are ungrateful, all these things will make you lose your soul. You don't deserve to own it, because first of all we have to understand the wisdom behind God kicking Adam from heavens or from eternal realm, first of all, because he lost the trust in him. God lost the trust in Adam when he ate from he didn't, like you are bringing someone to your house and you tell him, for example, do not enter this room, go wherever you want. And he just, out of curiosity or out of taking you slightly, or or he thinks he could hide from you that he went in, he go there, and you would trust him again? Same way, it happened this way. So God lost the trust in this race, in this species, the moment he told them something and they broke the trust or the agreement or whatever you want, the covenant. So they did it, and that's what our test is all about. We have to win back God's trust. I know many countries nowadays having God in their emblems, and like God, in God we trust, or God and my right, or God I don't know what. So all these things, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you trust God or not. All what matters is if God trusts you or not, and that's what matters. So you can throw everything on God, but it's God who sees in the heart. It's God who sees how good you are, how trustworthy you are, and that's what matters. So we are, each and every one of us is born with a soul that's 50% good, 50% evil, and we go through this lifetime. Of course, God takes in account everything, like for example, the time, the length of the time we have been here, because people die young, people die older. Everything is taken in account. The time we spent here, the social status, the everything related, every aspect of one's life is taken in account. So of course he's not going to judge someone who's born in a poor conditions like someone who was born in a rich family. To each, uh, God has ways in order to judge people according to how they spend their lifetime with what they have been given, as tools, as power, as knowledge, everything. So this is the what's all about. That is what's going on here in this temporary life, and uh, this planet which we are going through this test is going with a timer. This timer is going to stop at one point in time, which of course have been decided long ago. When this time arrives, everything will stop and the judgment day arrives. So even if you believe in reincarnation, an endless reincarnation or something, you will know that once the timer stops, even the serpent cycle is broken and there is no longer reincarnations. It's time for everyone who have walked on this earth to be judged according to how he created himself, how what he did, how what he learned, and how he lived his life, and whether he deserves to own the soul he has been given or not. So, and if you look in general how the book of destiny works and why some people die young, some people live longer, and all these things, it's also in the it's not category, it is in the criteria of when you are doing the Ten Commandments, you are walking under God's umbrella, so you are under his protection. So God will help you to live a happy life here and to grant you a place for eternity, and a good place, of course. So what does that mean? It does mean that if you are good parents, for example, a couple of husband and wife who are living according to the Ten Commandments, and they live a godly life. Let us say they have a child who is, for example, in his teenage years, and God sees down the road that this guy is going to be a hell for his parents, and no matter what kind of help would be given, he would just be a nightmare, no matter what happens. So God knows that, and what is going to happen in the future. He may send one of his angels of death in order, for example, to give this guy a car accident or whatever. So he's taken early, first of all, for his own sake as a person, because if he lived longer, he would be completely destructive to himself and to those around him, and also because his loss will benefit his parents in the afterlife more than his presence in his life, which could have be a nuisance to themselves, to them in this life, and even eat out some of their rewards in the afterlife. So that's how God works when it comes just for the people who are worthy, who are taking the guidance seriously. However, He's not responsible at all on other people who are walking completely outside the commandments, who are crossing the red lines. They are bringing damage to themselves, and that's why they will live in chaotic state in this life, and then most of them, I don't know what God would do with these who lost their souls or don't deserve to own them. Maybe He will give them an eternal life, but as a lower beings or lower ranks, or uh, maybe as animals on the eternal kingdom. I don't know. It's something I have no knowledge of. But what I am giving here is the purpose or the reason why we are having this short life, and what we should do in order to win our freedoms from God. I mean, deserve our freedom from God, or owning our souls and live in eternal realm, uh, as close as God to God as possible. So it's like, God planted seeds, and some of them will flourish and give fruit, some of them not. This is it. You it's the same. You bought same seeds from somewhere, and you have this field, and you throw them in the soil. Some of them will come out and flourish and give fruit, some of them not. This is the same way what's going on with the human species and other species that live. There are millions of other planets who have life on them in this galaxy or in different galaxies. So we are just one little species out there. However, God who created us, as I said, He has given us a chance to be or not to be, and if to be, where to be, and how to be. So this is what we are all about. That's what we are doing right now. So God has nothing to do with our choices. God has nothing to do. He didn't force my mother and my father to go have an intercourse and give birth to me. So I am here. I am given this chance, and I have been given this told soul temporarily. If I am qualified enough, I will show that during this lifetime, if I am qualified enough to own this soul for eternity or not. And this is what this life is all about. Yes, we should not take everything very, very seriously, in order not to, because we can't have control over everything. That's what that means when we say don't take everything very seriously. But also, we should not be playing games, because when we look about heavens and earth and all the things and the movement of planets, they are not here by coincidence, and we are not here just to have fun, definitely not. So all these people who say, well, the good has to be good and bad because people are being tested, yes, but that doesn't mean if I went a bad way, I do never come back to be good again. Because every person, there is no single person who has zero bad deeds. But some people enjoy their bad deeds and they want to be bad. It's by their choice. They commit a mistake, they don't learn, they commit double mistake next time, triple mistake, and they just lose themselves completely. They are not equal with someone who went also that road, and then he came back to goodness, changed his way, fixed his ways, decided to not repeat the same mistake, decided to learn the lessons. So they can't be equal. And these people who claim that there is no good, no bad, and all these things because God created us, why He would punish us? It's not superficial as that. God, at the beginning, when the spiritual realm existed, this spiritual soul, if you want to call it, or spirit, uh, the eternal spirit, decided to be. And it was not an easy birth to start with the light and word and all these things. And it's the start of the existing of the physical realm, when things are not just imagination, and it start to have feelings, it start to have life as we know it. So it wasn't easy. He has been fighting his dark side for ages, and he didn't decide to create other beings or mini beings under his command until he became in control over his dark side. However, his dark side still exists, but he's completely unchecked, and he doesn't unleash it unless it's the last option. So we are being given a chance to do the same thing, and even easier. Maybe he started from uh, an existence of 99% darkness, 1% goodness, and started from that photon of light. And now we are part of this creation procedure, and this is our duty. We are creating ourselves. We are being tested to own this eternal soul or not. So we are perfecting the light of existence. We are perfecting the light of God, because God is perfecting His light through His creation. So when we are good, we are improving the light of existence. If we are bad, we are working against God, against existence itself. So how stupid are we if we decide just to give in to our fiery nature, destructive nature, and decide not to be? If people told you you will live eternity just as a consciousness, would you enjoy that? When you have, if especially if you lived here, you experience this life, this temporary physical life, and you have been bad. All what you are going to have for eternity as a living consciousness is nightmares. And if you don't believe in hell as a nightmare, just remember when you had one, a nightmare or a bad dream, how you were, sweating in your bed, how much you were frightened. Imagine this going on in your head for eternity. This is enough torture, more than any physical hell. So decide where you want to be. This is your chance. You are creating yourself. It has nothing to do with God. It's you. You have been given a chance to be or not to be. Don't claim yourself God and live your life to the maximum, and then you lose everything. Be wise. And as I said, uh, go again and listen to what I said earlier in this video, because I'm not going to repeat again. Because also I have said that before. But I am here because I am a reminder, because this civilization is coming to an end. We are going into the last decade. The world after that will not look any way like today. So this is it from me today. Just work on yourself and be qualified. That's what's all about. Bye for now.